Welcome back to our course on FinTech, Foundations and Overview. In this module, we've been talking about implications for business, and we've been focusing on three main topic areas that we've had some discussion or some presentation of material on. Why is FinTech a threat? Why is this a challenge to existing financial service companies? What are the trends in FinTech and what's taking place? What might be different in the future? Or what is changing about our world? So what are some of the global trends that we have to deal with in our context of FinTech and market evolution in financial markets? And thirdly, what does this mean banks or insurance companies, big established financial service firms, should do about this? What are your options? What are your choices? And this might also be important for entrepreneurs to think about, because what banks do may affect what you do as a startup or an entrepreneur. Knowing that banks may be open, for example, to partnering or collaboration may make you more inclined to be willing to work with innovative, leading, thinking banks as partners in this FinTech world. And many FinTech startups will benefit greatly from partners. Many banks will benefit from that partnership as well. So there's opportunities for win-win in partnering or collaborating, or being a startup and pitching to a bank as one of your early investors. Some of the most successful FinTech companies have today raised a lot of capital from banks, even if they aren't owned by a bank. They may have banks as some of their leading investors and saying this is an intriguing opportunity for our future. Now, after this summary video of where we've gone in this module, and following on thinking about where we've gone in the course, where we started out looking at what is FinTech from different perspectives: entrepreneur, traditional, financial service company, investor in cryptocurrencies or startup stocks or other things, and consumer, different perspectives of what is FinTech, and looking at the applications that are part of FinTech, the ways that FinTech is changing our payments, our lending, our transactions in a number of ways, enabling crowdfunding or cryptocurrencies, and many other areas of opportunities in FinTech. We then had a short discussion in Module 3 about the technologies that are enabling all of this. Now, you might have felt like in the technologies, we didn't really get very deep, and that's true. We are looking at, for example, the idea that, we only had one session on blockchain. And as I'm talking about another of our faculty, we said, we could do a whole course on blockchain. We could do 4 weeks on blockchain technologies, blockchain programming, blockchain applications development, blockchain opportunities. We basically are brainstorming and thinking about, there's a whole course out there that's possible on blockchain. And we may do that, but this is not the time, this is not the place. This is not our focus here. We're looking at the FinTech market opportunity or business opportunity, not FinTech technologies. And certainly not a whole course on blockchain technologies or a whole course on identity, but any of these 5 technologies, you could do a whole course just on that technology, that area. And it would be perfectly legitimate and reasonable as a course on any one of those 5 technologies. But this last session, as we wrap up, we're going to ask you to think about an opportunity, a challenge. Think for a moment as if you're in the role of a large financial services company. And in our final video in this session, we'll introduce the details of this project. We'll ask you to work on that and share what you have learned with your other teams. And by the way, this is a lot like a recent competition that many of our students at HKUST and other universities in Asia had, doing kind of the same thing as teams to come up with a strategy for a case competition for a startup in this same FinTech market space. You're not alone in thinking through these issues, opportunities, and challenges. So the final project is something others also have worked on and is a relevant final project for this field, area, and opportunity. Thank you for being part of our course, for enabling us to share some time and thoughts with you on the FinTech opportunity and business. Please join us for other courses in this specialization on Coursera, where we look at regulation and security. Another course, what are the challenges and opportunities associated with regulation? Where we look at compliance and assurance. How do you make sure that what you think you're doing in your algo trading models, or what you think you're doing in other areas of FinTech, are actually going to be safe, that are actually going to be implemented as planned, that are actually prepared for disaster and business recovery, or disaster recovery and business continuity. So compliance, assurance, auditing, another course in this series. And finally, what are the implications of the FinTech revolution and transformation for society as a whole? Where is this going to take us in the future? We talked a little bit about trends. We're then going to extrapolate from those trends and look and say, what will this mean? Where will we be going? What are we going to see as we look ahead and transforming markets, transforming regulations, and changes for the future? Thank you again. We look forward to seeing your projects.